are going to need, of course, our tumbling tile blocks, some paint at your choice. You can use a glue gun and your glue sticks, but of course I'm going to use my wood glue because I don't want that my project is falling apart. The only bad thing about wood glue is that it gives some stain, so you have to sand it later if you want to wax it. I have here some push pins, of course. I don't know if I'm going to use them. I have some scissors, some markers, some tools, and of course some brushes. So this, and of course don't forget a saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel wet. So then you can wipe away the glue which is coming out. It's always a little bit better to wipe it away, but do it with an old towel. And of course, I'm going to try also to tell you how much some pieces are with the smaller blocks, because these are the bigger blocks. So this is what we need for this DIY. We are going to make, of course, our tier tray. And what we're going to do, we're going to start with the bottom. I'm not sure if it will be a 2-tier tray or a 3-1. So we will see how this will turn out. You never know with me. So we are going to start with pieces of 3. And very easy, we just make 2 blocks of 3. And this is 1, and of course number 2. And we are closing it up with number 3. Squeeze it, press it down, and make sure that you have a straight line. And again, 1 over here, 1 over here, and the third one, which will be the closure up. Again, squeeze it, press it down. We are going to do some glue, and of course I have to get a straight line because he's not totally straight. I'm going to do some glue over here, and I'm going to carefully get this up and place it on top of each other and make sure that both of them are just on the same size, like this. And I'm going to wipe away the glue. We are going to get 4 blocks like this. What we're going to do, we do on one side, because we're going to make a square, we do one side, we place this one against the other one, like this. We're going to get another block, and we do also on the side some glue. We place it against this one, like this. And if you're already looking, you only need some glue on this side and on this side. So we do some glue on this side, because he has to glue over here, and then we're going to do it on this side. It's a little bit, I showed you a little bit difficult, but it is really easy. So again, I need glue for this side. This is this side, the longer one, and on this side. So very carefully, I'm going to place it down. And if I do correctly, you can squeeze it in, and then you have already a nice square like this. I have to work with it a little, and then I'm going to let this dry in for at least a couple of minutes. So I let this dry in for a couple of minutes, like I said. Now I'm going to do some glue a little on the middle of the opening. You see already this way. I'm going to do it on the middle, so I'm getting as less glue outside as can be. So I'm going to lay it very easily on top and look for that I have it in the middle, and then we're going to give it a little pressure on this side. And you see already now we already have the stand of our tier tray. We're going to place this apart because it's still not dry. It is still very rollable. We are going to take 6 blocks. This is already 3, 4, 5 and number 6. So I'm going to glue them together. Very easy. And number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, and 6 will be the closure up. And this way, squeeze it and make a nice straight line again. Like this, we're going to place it aside, wipe away the glue, and we're going to get again 6 pieces of our blocks. And again, we make a row of 6. This is 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and the 6. Like I told you, it's the closure up again. and I'm going to squeeze it and press them together this way, and I'm going to let this dry in for at least a couple of minutes again. So I let this dry in for a couple of minutes. I'm going to carefully do some glue on the sides, on each block a little bit of glue. I'm going to carefully place it down, and it doesn't matter if it goes out of each other because you can easily repair it and then squeeze it together this way. And I'm going to lay it over here and let this dry also. Now we're going further with 4 blocks of 2, and we're going to glue them on the tops, just on the top of your block, and just squeeze it, press it down. Very easy. This is 1. We're going to do again on the top, and we're going to squeeze it, press it down in this way, and we're going to do again another one, and we need 4 pieces, and this is already number 2, and the last one, number 4, and again squeeze it, press it down, and this way. And we're also going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes again also. So I did let this dry in also. I'm going to do a little glue, of course, because we're going to glue this on this side. So I'm going to do on this side a little glue. I'm going to place this against each other this way and squeeze it and make sure that he has a straight line like this. Now we're going to not do it against it, but we do it on the side. So we do a little glue on this side, and we're going to place it also against each other this way. And now we're going to get some on the top of this one, and on the side a little drop, and we're going to place it in and make a nice square, and this way squeeze it and squeeze it until you have a nice square, and let it dry in also a couple of minutes again. So in the meantime, while this piece and of course my other piece are drying, I'm going to show you the numbers you need when you use the smaller blocks. If you want to make the same frame, because we use this as the bottom as our tray, this frame is of course for the bigger block 2, 2, 2 and 2, but for the smaller box it is 3, 3, 3 and 3. This is well the same as this one. Do you want to make the bottom, which is fitting on top of here like this, and of course I'm going to turn it over later, but this top of the bottom is 9 blocks, but a row of 9, and do it 3 times. Those 3 times a row of them, glue them together like one block like this, and then he's also, you can take it up and you can place it over here, and you have the same like I have with the bigger blocks. I hope I make sense. So 3 rows of 9 blocks, glue them together, and this also 4 or 3, and just make a nice square, the same like I did with the bigger blocks. Of course, do you want to make the stand? Is also very easy. You can easily see that you need 3 blocks, 4 blocks, and I would go for 2 times 4, and that will be 1. Do that double up, so you have 4 pieces of 4, glue them together, and you have also a doubling. And for this one, of course, you can easily do this one and then make also a nice, but this very small for your tier tray to stand on. So I would go for 2 this way, you would do 2 this way, and you make this one with 2s and not with 3s, or with 1s, and this one will be this way and this way, because he needs to get inside like this. You see, you also have a nice square, but from 2s and not from 1s, and he's a little bit bigger than this one, because also this is a little bit bigger because you use the smaller blocks. So I hope it makes sense. So for this one I will do 4 and 4 and double it up with 4 and 4, and then glue them on top, and then you get this bottom. For this one, like I said, I did the 1s. You can do the 2s if you have this one. So like I said, this is very easy to make. And then place this one on top of here, and then you can also place it on here, and you have your own first layer of your tray. And we are going to double up this kind of thing, but you see that later. Now these two pieces are dry in a little bit. I'm going to go over it with a thin line around the square, and this way over here. I'm going to go over here and over here, and I use the wood glue, but like I said, you can do it with your glue gun, but maybe you have a better glue than I have, so go ahead, use whatever you think is right. And I'm going to very carefully place it. I think I'm going to turn this one over. I can better judge where is the middle if I can correctly see, and this way. And I'm going to turn it over and make sure that on each side is the same measurement, and this way. And we're going to easily give it a little bit of pressure, not too much, because or else it will be break, because it's not totally dried yet. And this way, and we're going to let this dry in also for a couple of minutes again. So I let it dry in, and of course I'm going to do some glue on the middle piece of my stand, and this way, so I'm sure that not the glue is too much coming out, you see, like this. And I'm going to place it in the middle this way, and I'm going to turn it over again to make sure that I have it really in the middle. Of course, over here, make a turn and look for the right place, and I think he is in the right place. And again, we let this dry in also. In the meantime, while this is drying, I was thinking, I think it's a little bit too small, and I want to give it a little more of a decorative side. So I'm going to take 4 blocks. I take one on the top. I'm going to squeeze this one against it this way. I'm going to do again on the top some glue, and I'm going to place it again also over here, squeeze it. And now we're going to do the last one on the top and a little piece on the side this way, and we're going to place it in and make sure that we get a nice straight line and we get a nice square, and this way. And we're going to let this dry in for a couple of minutes again. I see some glue coming out of the side. It is very easy. Just take a little brush, go beside it, remove the glue and wipe it off on your wet towel again over here, and you can easily get it away of your decor, because you don't want to see big pieces of glue on the side or somewhere else. So always wipe it away, and that's always a nice thing. Just have it on hand. It's a very easy, simple, small brush, and you can easily wipe it away. So we let this dry in, at least not still, for a couple of minutes. Now this part is dried in. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this one over and glue it. I think now I don't even need to turn it over. I also can glue it on here. But for if you have the smaller blocks, you don't need this, because your feet is already a little bit bigger and longer than the mine is. So I wouldn't do it if I would use the smaller blocks. But if you want to have a decorative way, go ahead, do the blocks wherever you want, but you don't need it, but you can use it. So I'm going to do some glue on the inside, over here, and I'm going to go around here, and I'm going to, I think I am changed my mind. I'm really going to turn it over. Sometimes I am always very busy in my head just how I want to have it. So this way I'm going to turn it over, make rounds, and look for that you have it in a straight line that you want to have, because later you can't move it anymore. So right now I think he is really looking very nice already so far. So I'm going to let this dry in. So right now we are going to repeat a little bit the same, but you can change it up any way you like. You can go for the feet with you can do on this side, and just in each corner one of this 2-1. You can do it this way, close it up, but then the space of where you can decorate, because it will be a little bit of a small tray, because I want to have it in my kitchen and I don't want to have a bombastic piece in my kitchen. So I'm going to go for in the middle, so I can decorate a little bit around it, because I want just little pieces for the Christmas season, but you can also do it for the fall season. You can do it for any season. So I'm going to make again a square from 4 pieces. Very easy, just do some glue and we're going to squeeze them together again. If you do it for the smaller one, then you have to make the same one that you did on the underside, and that is the 2-piece. Again, over here, just do some glue, and I'm going to squeeze this one, and the last one I'm going to do on this side and on this side, this way. So I have to look for where I want to have it, over here and this way, and now I have a nice square. I'm going to squeeze it, press it together, and let this dry in, of course, also a couple of minutes again. So again, I'm going to do some glue on the middle, in the inside, over here, and we're going to turn it over and we're going to look for the middle again and squeeze it and place it and turn it around. I need to go a little bit to this side. I'm going to turn it over again, and of course on this side, and I have now the middle, and I'm going to let this dry also. The next step will be that you repeat the same like you did the first layer of your tray, but I'm going to place a 3 blocker inside, because I want to give it a little bit more height. So I'm going to go for 3 blocks this way, and again we're going to double it up. If you use the smaller blocks, you can double it up with the same you did with the bottom, and that is 4 pieces, 4 here and 4 here, and then glue them together and double it up again. Then you also can get some height. So I'm going to do this one with, of course, I have on the bottom 3 and double it up 3. So you have to go then with 4, double 4, and then double it up. So again, I have 4 pieces. I'm going to glue some glue over here, and I'm going to place them, of course, also on top of here, and we're going to let this dry again, so we get a little bit more height than we have right now, before we're going to make the same tray space. And like this, I'm going to let this dry in. So now I'm going to take my glue again, and I'm going to do it also in this one, in the middle over here, and just lay this one, and of course I'm going to turn it over, because I think it's better to find the middle of my piece. So I'm going to place it over here, place it down, going to go look for that I have it in a straight line, like this. And I'm going to look for this side, this side. You have to do it eyeballing it with yourself, because you are seeing not what's happening here under. So you have to do this part for yourself. So I'm going to eyeball that I have it in the place I want to have it, this way. And you see, now I'm going to let this dry in, and now we're going to make the same trace piece that we did with the first one. So I'm going to lay this aside. I'm going to get, of course, 6 blocks again. Very easy. I do have 4, 5. I already have 7 blocks, and of course I need 6. So I'm going to glue them together, 1 and number 2, and number 3, number 4, number 5, and the 6 will be the closure up. And again, make a nice straight line this way, and squeeze it and press them together. And again, redo it if it's not straight enough, because we want to have a straight line. I'm going to do the other one. I only need 5 because I already have 1 over here. And very easy just to do. I was thinking what I like about, because I want to have this one in my kitchen, and I still didn't find a house. We are still looking for a new home because I need a little bit more space. You see already I am doing my crafts on the table, and I would love, just like a lot of crafters, have an own space for myself. Of course, I have now, my son is out of the house. Of course, I have one room left, but I want to have a different house. So we are still looking, and until that time, I am using a little small tray like this one I'm going to use. But maybe it is also fun to show you how you can decorate it with a couple of figurines, some little pieces to make your own Lemax village. So I think I'm going to show you that one to make a little village where you don't need a lot of space. Normally I make also big Christmas villages in my living room, but of course I also love little displays. Maybe I'm going to show you that, but we will see. So I did let it dry in for a couple of minutes again, but you know already what to do. I'm just going to do some glue over here, and I'm going to place it down, squeeze them together this way, and make a nice straight line again. And I'm going to place it over here because I need the space. We are going to make the round around of the side around our piece. So I'm going to get again 4 blocks of 2. Very easy. And let me know down below in the comments if you also are making your own Christmas villages always, because you can buy those figurines. I already also saw a lot of people show them on, of course, from the Dollar Tree. So I think those figurines you can buy them really anywhere, and you only need a couple of figurines to make your own cute little village, and which is coming to life. I always love making little kind of displays. It makes me always so happy to make little Christmas villages. But I'm crazy for Christmas, so don't mind me. If you don't like Christmas, it's also fine. Just do it with some fall things, because of maybe for the 4th of July later in the next year, you can use this little tray for anything. So I'm going to go and let this dry in. So I'm going to make my square again. I'm going to do on the top of this block, and I'm going to place this one over here. Squeeze it and press it down. I'm going to do it on the top of this one. Of course, I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to place this one over here. So I'm doing this one against this one against this one, and now we only need a little glue on this side and on the top. So very easy, just a little on this side and on the top, and then if everything is correctly, he fits inside of here. And of course, you always have to work a little bit with it to get it totally fitting with each other. You see, now we let this dry in also, and then we already have the second plateau of our little tray. Also, again, I'm going to do on the sides, I'm going to do my wood glue. Just very easy, very simple, just around the lines, and I always try to do it as fast as I can for you, and sometimes my glue is totally going out of control on my thing. But of course I'm going to place it over here, and again look for that you have it in the middle, turn it over and make sure that you have it in a straight line. I need to go a little bit this way and this way, and now I'm going to let it dry in. And of course, in a moment, I'm going to get my small brush and I'm going to wipe away the glue we don't need. So now the second piece is also dried up. What I'm going to do, I have to look for that I have the lines of the blocks, the blocks in the same line, because I don't like it if I have it this way, this one to the right, and other one from above to down. I don't like that, so I'm going to have to this way. What I'm going to do, of course, I'm going to glue some glue on this side, on here, over here, and just do some glue this way, and I'm going to turn this over, so I have to be sure that I have it this way, and I have to turn my piece this way, and then I'm going to find the middle again, the same like I did with the other one, And this way, just place it down, give it a little pressure in the middle, and then go look for if you have it really straight in the middle like this, and look for all sides. And of course you can see it this way, but believe me, I'm going to try to find the middle. So I'm going to let this dry for at least a half hour. This piece is drying, and now we're going to again 3 blocks this way, and again 3 blocks this way, because we are going to closing it up everything, and we are going to, I think I'm going to keep it with 2 pieces of the bigger trays of the plateaus. I don't know how you call the spaces, at least here in the Netherlands we call it blad, but you call it a tray, but I don't know, you call it tier tray or 2-tier tray. So it is a little different how you can pronounce it in Dutch and of course in English. Of course I'm going to place some glue over here, and I'm going to double it up again. And with the smaller block you're doing the same like you already did before. Just let it dry in also. And now we're going to make for 4 blocks another square, and again we're going to do it on the side. We're going to glue this one, and this is already number 1. We're going to go for the second one, and we're going to place this one in, and we make a closure up with our 4th block, and this side, and on this side we're going to place it in, and this way, and we just make a nice square again. And we're going to let this dry in also for a couple of minutes. So both of them are dried in right now. First I'm going to do some glue on the inside. Of course I didn't do a 3rd tray, but of course if you want to make it higher, you can go all the way. Just do whatever you think is right, because this is just how I like it, but that's not the way you have to like it. So go ahead and do whatever you think it's right. So I'm going to leave this way, and I'm going to glue in a moment. I'm going to glue this one on top of here, but first I'm going to let it settle in a little bit. So you see, this is how it's looking like, and I'm going to do again some glue in the middle so I don't spill too much glue. I'm going to place it over here. I have to look which lines. This is the line, so I have to look for that I have the lines on a straight line, so like this. So I'm going to place it over here, and of course again in the middle. I'm going to turn it around and look for exactly the middle, this way and this way, and I'm going to let this dry in. And then for me, our stand is ready for decorating, but and for painting of course. But you can go, like I said, you can go all the way, use your imagination, and just go ahead and make it the way you like it. So I looked in my stash, and of course I found a wooden, here in the Netherlands they sell them for 2 bigger ones, 2 smaller ones, because you can make some little figurines with it. I never do it. I always use it as a stopper on top most of the time of my DIY. So I'm going to glue this on top of here with my wood glue. And I don't know, you don't see it in totally, but you only see the underside. But I'm going to do some glue. And I'm going to place this one also in the middle to finish off our tray. But you can do it also with a kind of a bead. Maybe I can see it. Yeah, this now you see it a little better. You also can do it with a bead, a bigger bead, of course. You can do it with a styrofoam, a little ball. You can do anything you like. I am going to end this up with this one, and now I can even do some little trees, bottle brush trees around it. So now I can even make my display a little around it. So I'm going to paint mine in the sand color. Of course I have it here in my little container, but of course they are coming out of this kind of tube, so it's a little bit of the white color, but I like that for this year. But you can do white, black, green, brown, do whatever you think it's right. You can even stain it, but like I always tell you, if you stain it, please take a piece of sanding paper and just sand over your piece, because The glue gives some spots if you stain it or do some furniture wax inside of it. So please do then a little paper with some sanding and just sand it over. Then you get a nice smooth look for your tray. So I'm going to use a very easy the sanding color, and I'm going to go over all the pieces and give it just a thin layer. And you see here our tray, a 2-tier tray is finished. He's dried up, he's painted, and he's ready to make my own little village. But like I told you earlier, if you love fall season better, just decorate it. I'm just going to show you also what you can do with some couple of Lemax little figurines. I bought already a couple of them last year in the sale, so I'm going to pick this out. And of course I have a couple of them on my table. The first thing what I'm always going to do with my Christmas village, because I will always want that he is coming to life. Even when it is a little village, I always try that he is coming to life. So I hope I will succeed. The first thing I'm going to do is always placing my figurines with some sticky gum. And I have to look, I'm just using the very easy just sticky gum. I always do little pieces under my figurines to make sure that they don't fall out of my village where I place them. It doesn't matter where I place them, I always give them a little bit of sticky gum. So I'm going to play around with where I want to have my figurines, but I'm going to do it a little bit faster or else it will take much too long for you.
Snowflakes falling like a glitter parade. Every corner's a candy cane arcade. Lights are winking, streets are singing. The season's here, the joy keeps ringing. The world feels alive tonight, wrapped in a ribbon of golden light. Oh, it's Christmas, it's magic, it's love. Every heart beats just like a child. It's laughter, it's love, it's true. All I want is Christmas with you. Hot cocoa rivers and marshmallow streams, windows frosted like sugar-coated dreams. Sleigh bells dancing, stars romancing. The night is ours, the world's enchanting. The snow's painting rooftops white. Under the mistletoe, hold me tight. Oh, it's Christmas, it's magic.
And you see, I just did the way I think it's supposed to be. But you can do, of course, anything you like. Just get your figurines. And I see already I need a little figurine, I think maybe over here, because on the top it needs a little more. So, and then I'm going to go always with the next step is placing some greenery and some trees. Of course, I always have a bag full of Christmas butterbrush Christmas trees like this. And if I normally I will use them with his stamp of his feet under it. But also if I don't want to use the feet, I'm just going to squeeze it off and then you can use it. Now I'm going to place a couple of the little trees inside and a couple of the bigger ones. You see, I have them in sizes. These are the smaller ones, and now we're going to look for one size bigger. I have to look for, this is also the smaller ones. I have to look for a size bigger. It's always a little bit looking for the bigger size. So I will look for them and you will see what I'm doing. I found my trees, but I'm going to cut them off his feet like this. And you see already now you have left with a piece of wired Christmas tree. And of course I'm going to cut it off. And I'm going to make it a little shorter this way. And now you still have your own tree. And I can do one bigger one in this on this stage, and of course on this stage, and of course diagonal from each other. So no, not just down to each other, but of course a little bit, one on this side and one on the other side. So I have to look for where I find the place where I want to have my bigger tree. I think I'm going to do it in between here, and I'm just going to squeeze it in. And you see already this one you cannot do with some sticky gum because the underside is open. So this one has to be on this way. but he is still not fitting totally inside. So I'm going to cut off a little piece again, because I want to have him fitting inside. And of course he has to come off, and he doesn't like that. But of course he has to, and I'm going to squeeze it in, and still he's not totally fitting. And you saw me already struggling with my tree. I did have to cut it four times. It is just my reindeer in my last DIY, but of course I'm going to do my best. We are going to do some smaller ones also with it, and I'm going to get off the feet, and I'm going to place some trees on the back side of our figurines, because I want to have them stacked up over there. And I'm going to do one with some feet, so he can keep close to the one without the feet, and this way. And I'm going to place a couple of them to the back side. Of course, squeeze it in, squeeze it over here. We want to have it closed in, of course, on this side. I have, and these are great little trees, and they are also from the brand Lemax, the same that my figurines are normally from. So I'm going to place this one over here. I have to bend it over so he goes to the back side, and I need my little bicycle inside, and I'm going to do one on the back side of the little guy. And of course I have to squeeze it in, because it is a kind of building everything up, and sometimes it is a little bit struggling with you, but it doesn't matter. At the end you will get it. And I'm going to do one on the back side over here. Between the fingers I'm going to place it on the back. It is a little bit of squeezing, but don't encourage yourself, because at the end you will get there. This is already one. We're going to go for another one, and the little trees give you so much life from your pieces. So go ahead, just struggle them in, even when it takes a little bit more of your time. But you have to be patient. If you are a person who is not that kind of patient, then you maybe you shouldn't do it. Sometimes I can do this for hours, because I am really loving this. So, but not everyone is the same like me. So I'm going to place, of course, one son behind the little bench, and again squeeze it in. It is a task, but at the end you will get rewarded, because you love the way he is looking like. So this way. I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to flatten it out so it gets a flat side on the back side, so I can easily get it behind the bench. And this way. And now the bench is also stuck in. I'm going to get another tree, and we're going to place it behind this two people, and again squeeze it and press it down, and this way. And this one we're going to do without his feet, so it gets easier inside and over here. And you see already, this is just playing around with your things. You don't have to do exactly the way it's supposed to be. You can do anything you like. That's the great thing about this kind of villages. So I'm going to give you now a little bit of a close-up what I did. Of course, it's a little bit really close in your face, but now you can really see a little bit better what I did. I'm going to turn it over and try not to make you dizzy. So it's very easy. You see, it's very, just place a lot of trees inside, because that's most of the time your little village come to life. And of course, normal I have also my houses, but for now I'm going to do it because this is a very little small display. And you see, this is the underside, and now I'm going to fill it in with some greenery. So you see that in a moment. I'm just going to pick some greenery. You can use any greenery you like. You don't, most of the time I'm not always using the Christmas greenery. Sometimes I'm also using different greenery, just the way, and some moss. You also, if you have moss laying around, it's also great to fill in the little gaps, because you see, just cut off a little piece and just going to stick it in and just squeeze it in between. and just make it filling up. And of course, we are going to cut this short, and we're going to fill this one in over here. And now we're going to just turn around and fill little gaps in with some greenery before we're going to do the, of course, a little bit of the snow. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to cut off a smaller piece just to give it also a little greenery over here. And this is, I'm going to go round and round and look for little gaps. I need some greenery inside, and then I'm going to do some other greenery, and then we're going to do some snow. But do it whatever you think it's right.
Snowflakes falling like a glitter parade. Every corner's a candy cane arcade. Lights are winking, streets are singing. The season's here, the joy keeps ringing. The world feels alive tonight, wrapped in a ribbon of golden light. Oh, it's Christmas, it's magic, it's love. Every heart beats just like a child. It's laughter, it's love, it's true. All I want is Christmas with you. Hot cocoa rivers and marshmallow streams.
So again, I give you a little bit of a close-up with some greenery inside. And of course, it already comes a little bit to life. And now we're going to give some other greenery. And I have some, you see already some berries. And I have some, this kind of green berries. So I think I'm going for the green berries and then the red berries. And then we're going to give it little touch of little dots of some snow.
Snowflakes falling like a glitter parade. Every corner's a candy cane arcade. Lights are winking.
So now I also want to place in a couple of my red berries, like this one. And of course, I don't know if I will do all three of them together. So this way, just make little statements. I think I'm going to do that because I'm going to cut them short. And I'm going to try to get them inside. Of course, I have to be sure that they stick together. So I'm going to turn them around and make sure that I'm going to place it a little bit under and just on the corners a little statement. I'm going to do on each side, and then we're going to do finally the end, and it is the snow. Now I'm going to place little pieces of some snow blanket. I'm just rip it apart in little pieces and I'm going to place them inside, but you see in a moment the quick impression. So you have to wait until that.
Snowflakes falling like a glitter parade. Every corner's a candy cane arcade. Lights are winking, streets are singing. The season's here, the joy keeps ringing. The world feels alive tonight, wrapped in a ribbon of golden light. Oh, it's Christmas, it's magic, it's love. Every heart beats just like a child.